If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Isn't that the saying, Nathan?
That's the saying, yeah. If something is working well, then you shouldn't touch it.
What if something isn't working well?
Well, then you call someone out for it.
So this is some criticism that's come back at us fans, us critics, from the producers of executive producer of The Rings of Power.
So she said that we're all up for criticism, but we're not up for racism.
I think the reason they're doing it is because, like I always say, and like I might be right, I don't know, they're not advertising this to us. They're not advertising this race propaganda to us. They're advertising it to the people with money.
Well, I think it still has a purpose because everyone's talking about it, and I think it just starts to make us delusional. It's distracting us from the work and what we should actually be focusing on.
It makes us delusional?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's definitely there to show the people that need to give them the money that, you know, that they're virtue signaling, basically. But I think it isn't just one purpose why they're doing this. There's multiple reasons why they're doing it.
And I feel like it's also just starting to wear people down, you know? People don't want to talk about it anymore. People don't want to call it out anymore because we don't want to... It's just depressing talking about it
I'm
over
sick
and
of
over
talking
again.
about it all the time.
And people don't want to be called out. People don't want to be called racist. You don't want to be called something you don't think you are.
Oh, but at a certain point, you're just like, okay, what next? I'm racist, I'm transphobic, I'm homophobic. I'm all the worst possible words that you can think of. I can think of some worse words. I could just say one of them at you and you're instantly broken, and it's so bad that I have to get kicked off every social media platform. Who's got power now, huh? You know? Well, you still. But that
You're
one...
not going to say it.
well, it's not just one word. There's several words that you can just say and you're instantly defeated. You know, they have to bring about the entire establishment to destroy you.
And then there's another part where they say, let's be clear here. It's not racist to want characters that are described by J.R. Tolkien in a certain way to look like those characters when his stories are being adapted to television. So this is the article talking about.
Yeah,
it's not
obviously.
racist to do that. As an example, no one wants Black Panther to be played by Ryan Gosling.
I do.
Don't want Black Panther to be portrayed by a black man. Simple enough.
Yep.
I think he could be played by anyone. Just pick the best actor. If you had, let's say, okay, here's the two options. Ryan Gosling, right? He wants to do it. He really wants to do it. He'll do it for cheap too. Black homeless guy in his 90s missing a leg. You can pick one to do this movie. There's only one choice here. Who do you pick to play the Black Panther? Who do you pick to play the king of the African nation, Wakanda? I pick Ryan Gosling.
Like you're proving their point, proving our point in a roundabout way.
That's why I'm saying it the way I'm saying it.
But it just sounds so ridiculous.
Work, Claire, you figured it out. You should watch The Da Vinci Code. You'll get that movie way before the end happens.
Anyway, I was gonna say, like, people aren't just complaining about things now. When they released who would be playing Ariel in The Little Mermaid, people were like, that's not what she looks like. There
Also,
were complaints about that from not just one particular group of people. It was from every group of people.
Yeah. Also, black people can't swim. Okay, this is a fact. No. Look.
Well,
white men can't jump. Black people can't swim. This is a fact.
Look, I saw an episode of Blackish, and that's what happened.
If
Really?
that
Happened. Yeah,
exactly.
there's a whole episode on how Dre can't swim. Anyways, so it hasn't just been the showrunner talking about this. We've had one of the actresses, the lady who plays Galadriel, has gone onto Instagram. Some of the Instagram posts have recently been so... And the comments, the top comments of the other cast being like, yes, love heart, fire. That's just all the comments. Yeah. And then there's like one comment being like, can I get some context here? Why is everyone saying this? I don't understand what's going on.
Who's the person saying I don't understand what's going on?
Just some random person that's obviously seen it on their Instagram feed and been like, I don't understand this.
Oh, well, she was saying the Welsh alphabet.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, you know, all the cast here, just like love hearts, loving it, it's all great. And then scrolling down, and people are kind of like, yeah, it's just an unfunny. And the comments here are just all...
Yeah, seals. Yeah.
There's zero context.
You know, do you want to know something funny?
What?
The whole seals thing on these late night things is not new. It's been happening for a long time.
I mean,
it's almost the entire point of them.
Yeah, basically.
The entire point of these shows is to be like, hey, here's acceptable opinion, and here's people clapping so you know it's true. Now watch it because it's on prime time.
Yeah.
That's the choice you're given.
media corporations. Anyways, what she actually did, which we don't have anymore because they're stories and stories disappear after a certain period of time, but she actually came out saying, anyone sending hate to my black castmates, get off my page, get off the internet, and shut up.
Anyone sending hate, is it because they're black?
That is an interesting perspective, Oz. Because are they saying hate in terms of actual racist terms and derogatory comments? Or are they saying hate as in, I don't like you being in this Tolkien work because it's not accurate to the world?
Accurate to the demographics of the races that he put into his stories.
Or hate as in, why do you keep saying this stuff that makes no sense?
Why are you being so politically driven for this TV show that I just want to have a good time with?
Yep. You know the President Theodore Roosevelt? Mm-hmm. He once stood on a sidewalk, stood up on a box and said, it just went on a big long speech, kept going, rambling about why he should be president. Mm-hmm. And a man came up and shot him. He beat the shit out of the guy, stood back up on the box and said, ladies and gentlemen, this man just tried to shoot me. This is exactly why, and just went on. You know, could you imagine if he got shot and like, oh, you horrific racist, you homophobe, you transphobe, all these things, even that. Imagine if he was just saying this stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, bad man. And then he started... Do you see what I mean? Like, you know what? I don't know what the point is. The point is, everyone's a weak-ass bitch. When I say weak-ass, you say bitch. Weak-ass. Weak-ass.
I'm not doing it again.
My brother taught me that one. You're not a hoe.
That's right, everyone. We've censored, we've bleeped them, and...
You plough the field with a hoe.
We're here for the next one. I'll just...
It's only the B word. It's not going to hurt you.
No, I'll tell you.
It's not going to sting you.
I tell you what. Get out of here.
No.
Get off the internet.
Get out.
Get off the internet.
Hey, guys.
Get off the internet.
I have Aboriginal heritage.
Shut
Okay?
up.
I want to call my friends online. It's 1990 and you're still on the internet.
I have...
You know what, Nathan? Thank you for saying that. You're so brave.
I have Aboriginal heritage.
You're so brave, Nathan.
So why are you sending hate to me? Get off the internet.
Don't turn it back around.
Anyways, we've seen this all before. So despite not seeing any of the messages and the hate messages which the cast are receiving, this isn't the first time a big organisation's done this. Star Wars, the actual account came out and said, we are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Rava's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say. We resist.
Again...
So many things wrong with that.
You know, the whole we resist thing is like it's the corporate way of pandering to the progressive left of obviously, right? Like, and I know that sounds obvious, but throughout the decades, I'm talking about all the way back to Malcolm X and then more recently with Uncle Ted, they have constantly said the left, if they don't have any problems, they will invent them. Just so they can make a fuss.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
and Star Wars have films and shows with characters who aren't white, Asian characters, with black characters,
yeah. When
other characters.
When Sam Jackson came out, when Sam Jackson came out and said, "I'm a Jedi, motherfucker," no one cared. We loved it. Excuse my language. I just spat out swear words and literal spit.
They're eating this after.
I'll do it now. I will do it.
I don't want evidence.
Have you seen Super Troopers?
I don't want evidence of me forcing it down your throat.
Have you seen Super Troopers? There's a scene where the guy gets everyone coffee and he gives a coffee to the new guy and there's a bar of soap in it and the guy's like, hey, take a bite of it. Make him look like a dick. I'll make you look like a dick.
Good.
But anyway, yeah, no one complained. No one's complained before.
She said that there were hundreds of mean messages
Didn't she
to
share
her.
on her story,
she showed one screenshot.
Like
maybe 3?
10?
10?
Well, I think it was like in a grid.
But, then Ewan McGregor got on board as well and saying,
we stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind.
And you know what they were doing for this entire time? They were just distracting everyone from the actual issue of the show, which was that...
And you know what?
What?
I'm not going to blame Ewan McGregor. Maybe he was led to believe that this was actually happening.
Maybe his entire, actor
maybe
profile was
this-
up for grabs.
Maybe they were told enough times that it was happening that they started to believe it.
I disagree. I think, look, maybe that could be the case, but the more realistic case is one that we can all talk about from personal experience. Is we, being on YouTube, are not allowed to say certain things, or as tippet as normal as
But
they might
it's
seem.
the same thing, you know. We get comments as well that are opposing our ideas and values, and maybe even get mean ones. But we don't then tell our entire audience that they're mean and rude for saying those things, because it's only a select group of people. Same thing happening here. Just because you get hateful comments doesn't mean the entire fan base thinks that way. They're labeling an entire group of people where it's only small, like, individuals doing it.
Yeah, and it's probably bots or something like that.
Yeah.
Even then, they've done studies like if you watch like a Jordan Peterson go talk to Kathy Newman, and she'll be like afterwards when she gets absolutely destroyed, wreck the libs, yo. She gets absolutely demolished by Jordan Peterson, and then she'll be like, "Oh, I've got so many hateful messages on Twitter," and then you actually sit down and study them, and no, Jordan Peterson got like tens of millions, and she got a bloody couple hundred.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. The point is, it's cope, yeah, but
And misdirection.
people talk about this all the time who've been to like Antifa rallies, right? If you are a person of color, as they like to say, who doesn't agree with their message or is on the other side, they will use every racial slur they can think of. They once randomly beat the crap out of an Asian dude because they thought he was Andy No, a journalist who covers them. No, the progressives. It's funny. The people who are obsessed with racists are the real racists. It's true.
But no, I reckon they were totally ready for this. They had this in their holster, ready to play.
Well, absolutely.
Since the very beginning, because Moses Ingram said as well that like even Lucasfilm was ready for it, because they're like, you're going to get backlash, and we're going to train you for
They
it.
gave her actor training, as in like they trained her to be an actor because...
No. They
needed to
trained
get
her for when
backlash about
racist
bad
comments came about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not any actual acting skill training courses that she could have used to actually portray Reva in a more believable sense, but rather, and the training basically was, when you get a mean message, post it online so that we can retweet you.
Well, actually, I kind of agree with that. If I could believe any of these racist claims, I would agree with that. If you get a hateful message or a death threat, post it online with the account. Problem solved. Post the hateful message that they sent you. Post their account. There you go. Problem fixed. Doesn't matter how high or how low you are in terms of being a public figure or whatever. If someone sends you a hateful message, let people know about it.
Yeah, I think that's
People
fair.
have done that, and you know what happens? Fans come to the rescue.
Yeah. And so instead of having to call your fans racist, maybe you can just let them be on your side like how they were to begin with, and they'll help you out. Because you know what? We would, I think all of us as a group would actually legitimately help people in racist situations.
Yeah.
We would be genuine. What we're calling out here, we're not saying that being racist is a good thing. We're saying that it sucks that these companies are taking hold of those names and then corrupting it basically to deflect criticism that's genuine.
And I don't doubt that probably in between all of the actual criticisms of the show, there were probably racist comments in there.
Probably. 4chan likes being funny.
But they're not calling out the actual racist comments, they're calling out the criticism and calling it racist.
Yes.
Well, how about the true racism of using a token character just because they're black and you need diversity for monetary
And
reasons?
using her as a shield for how bad the show was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're doing a lot of.
What is
like,
she, 30s or something?
If she's 30, she doesn't... And she's 30 and she's black. She doesn't need coaching to deal with racism. I'm not gonna lie.
she's been doing it for a lot
She's probably
longer.
dealt... Like, you know... I've had to learn to deal with racism being a white dude. You'd think no, you wouldn't. But of course the entire bloody Western media calling me racist specifically because I'm white.
And you know Queen's Gambit? That was a big show. That was pretty big when it came out. If she had received any type of criticism because of her race in that show, she would have linked this back to then. I'm saying she would have received this kind of backlash before. Other characters in other shows would have received this kind of backlash before. Other black people in other Star Wars movies would have received this kind of backlash if it was about the race.
Yeah, and they have. There's been stuff in the past. I was saying with the guy who is the stormtrooper. He received backlash. he legitimately did. Like in China, he was removed from the poster. But Disney didn't speak out for any of that stuff back then.
Yeah, and
it's only now when they release a crappy show that they do it. And I think they're doing the exact same thing with the actress who plays Deezer
Yep.
They're using her basically as a meat shield to defend themselves against criticism.
And good thing they got themselves a bigger shield this time.
Oh, I didn't mean that! I didn't mean that!
Human shield.
No, get what we...
It's a human being.
So you just called her a meat shield? I'm going to take that. You're fatphobic.
You can
Well,
use
he said
meat
meat shield, not blubber shield.
But that's what they're doing.
We can't listen to anything you're saying now because you're fatphobic.
I'm sorry, guys. I just can't put on weight like the rest of you.
He's not scared of fat people. He just hates them.
So now everything you're about to say is irrelevant.
Well, then I guess I should shut up.
And get off the internet.
And get off the internet because I can't even call them out on basically hurting actors and actresses who just want to do their job.
No, but see, that's what happens with this. Now we're hyper aware of what we're saying. Meat shield had nothing to do with her size, but now we're hyper aware and we need to be careful about what we're saying because we can't just say our opinion.
Think about this though, right? Think about this for 1 second. Are you thinking?
I'm thinking.
Okay. So, imagine they put the people of color. They do all the diverse stuff to advertise that they're diverse, get money, right? Mm-hmm. Now, do you think it might add a bit more to their whole yes, we're inclusive, diverse thing if instead of just doing that, they also defend?
Oh, yeah.
And fight back against racism very audibly.
They need a problem to solve.
Exactly.
Like you were saying before, yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's like a loop that just,
Yeah, they just twirling
keeps
through
happening.
the universe.
Twirling through the universe, and we all die slowly as we witness it.
So, yeah, look, that's something we need to call out because they're using actresses, in these examples at least, and other people, to deflect the actual genuine criticism we have on their work. This scares me because Kenobi was such an awful show.
Oh.
It was just story-wise, it was complete. I don't have trash garbage does not. Sorry, I have to conceal it, otherwise it's going to come out.
Breathe.
No, let the hate flow through.
And there was yes, stuff came out about Moses Ingram, but there wasn't as much as stuff's come out with Rings of Power. So the fact that they're deflecting so much with criticism and calling fans racist now, before the show's even out, I'm terrified what the first episode's going to be like of the show.
Yeah. We had criticisms for Boba Fett. That show was awful beyond belief. It literally drove us mad. It was like staring into the warp from Warhammer.
I feel like that opinion is also pretty universal.
Yeah. Even it seems like the actor knows it.
Yeah. He's like, I want season 2, but I want to be an actual, bounty hunter, please.
Yeah.
He legit said that.
Yeah. No one called racism against him, even though he's, Maori.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I guess that's the one example where the show was awful, but they didn't do anything to deflect it.
And you know what's funny though? With Star Wars, they can make new stories in the universe. This is on source material that exists. Story that is already written.
What?
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power.
Well, actually, they've admitted we're not doing this based on anything that he.
Yeah. It's non-canon, but still, the stories they're basing it off. They're changing.
They're using the characters,
some characters that are canon.
Some.
I mean, there's a whole couch interview with some of the cast, and they were all new characters.
Mm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That many?
Mm-hmm.
I know the Half-Foots are new characters.
Some of the elves, the single mum and her son, that random dude who just looks like a Chad.
They could take the universe and make things that aren't canon, and say, you know what, we're going to make a story in the universe. It's not canon.
They could, but
it could have zero effect on anything else. Just be like a good story with an awesome setting, awesome lore, and they can just be like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Here's my pitch. Just based off what you just said. Okay, imagine this. You get Sean Astin in his old age, you put him in the Shire, you give him some, just him tending to his garden, dealing with his family. You basically make it like Neighbours, okay, but for the Shire.
I would watch that.
I would watch that. I guess it's closer to home and away because it's the Shire. Sorry, yeah.
What would be, are you stealing my silver again, Barbara?
Yeah.
And then that bold and beautiful marketing thing would actually make sense.
And then Barbara's like, "Samwise Gamgee, do not take me for some conjure of cheese. I'm not trying to rob you." Anyway, whatever.
I watched that.
But no, of course they have to corrupt canon, change things around, and insert their politics into it to send a message.
I want a Shire show. I want old Sean
Let's
Astin
do it.
soundbites.
We are so close to New Zealand. We could just fly over there, make it.
Take you to my homeland.
Your homeland? Oh yeah, because you're a little person. It's actually, technically, it's
Shire.
my home blood, but whatever. I will make sure that you don't go anywhere near
I
Auckland.
identify as a hobbit, thank you very much. When you trying to
We
take
identify
that
you
away.
as a hobbit too.
No, I'm kidding.
Anyways, that's been the article. That's been the news.
The
Rings of Power is still just trying to be controversial. They're going to have so many hate watchers on the first season, I think.
Oh yeah.
They're having that, and they're smiling. They're loving it. Bezos is like, oh yeah, it's going to be bigger than Game of Thrones. Oh yeah.
That didn't sound evil enough.
Haven't you seen Jeff Bezos?
Oh, no, I know. It didn't sound evil enough.
Oh, you,
Give us some more bass.
Just, like...
That was a little more evil.
You just gotta get the one with, when he has
do
robot
like
hands.
Mr.
Anyways, that's been another article of Rings of Power. The showrunners don't like the fan base, calling them out on their just
Call them out on what? Their criticism of this
criticism
garbage
of the show.
show.
That
Yeah. Cast it into the fire.
That hasn't even been released yet.
Yeah, but we can tell it's going to be
but
awful.
it's because there's no
But
evidence.
how is it already so bad?
When this show comes out and we do
haven't
call them out
seen
on
it.
things, they're not going to have a good time because they're going to have the evidence right there in front of them and like, hey, you did this. Why did you do this? And they'll be like, we wanted to reinterpret, but not change anything. Anyways, we've been the Night's Watch, and we hope that you all, along with us, stay watchful.